This is the FN 510 Tactical, chambered in 10mm. It comes with a 15 round and a 22 round magazine, interchangeable back straps, suppressor height sights, threaded barrel for your suppressor, picky rail for your light, and it also is chambered in 10mm. But I said that already because I can't remember what else I was supposed to say about this gun. Oh yeah, that's right. It also has a plate for your red dot sights. So, I know you're wondering, is this an even better bear gun? So 2 years ago, I did a review on a Glock 20 and I asked the question, is the Glock 20 the perfect bear gun? And in that video, I completely, utterly embarrassed myself because I kept missing every single shot. Come on, come on. I like the Glock 20, but I can't shoot it for whatever reason. However, things have changed. Since then, there have been a couple of 10mm guns that have come out that have tickled my fancy. One of them being this FN 510 chambered in 10mm. Now, I've had this for a while. FN sent this to me along with their new 545. I did the video on the 545, and what I said in that video still stands. I think that is one of the best striker-fired polymer handguns chambered in 45 to date. That's just me, whatever. But now the question remains.
Before you finish watching this video, a word from our sponsor. Have you ever thought about making a living in the firearms industry? If you enjoy gun repair, ballistics, and learning about firearms, Sonoran Desert Institute's online courses might just be a good fit for you. To find out more, visit sdi.edu or call 480-999-4767 today. All the ammo used in this video was brought to you by Nosler.
Does the same hold true for the 510? Now, off the bat, one reason why I would probably choose the 510 over the Glock 20 is this. 22 rounds of 10mm. That's just vicious, vicious. And of course, when it's, you get 15 rounds like every other one, but 15 rounds plus 20 rounds? I know, for instance, when I went on my elk hunt, and I had the Glock 20 with me in a little chest pouch carrier. Pretty sure Peter's gonna do some intersplicing of, footage from that because that video hasn't come out yet. And so, for me, never thought in a million years I'd be talking about whenever I go hunting, I'd like to have a hunting handgun along with my rifle. But here I am. But I do like the idea of having a handgun. The reason why I like the idea of having a handgun is because there's a maneuverability that you have with a handgun that you don't necessarily have with a rifle. And when you're hunting, you're not exactly always hunting with, say, an AR pattern rifle like I was when I was doing the elk hunt. Well, I didn't have an AR pattern rifle, I had a bolt action. So if something were to happen, I want to be able to, oh, that type of thing. Charging bears, charging cougars, once in a blue moon gorilla, stuff like that. But, so, noticeably, I remember talking about the Glock 20 being very chunky, but I like the kind of chunkiness. Gosh, I was trying to avoid saying that because I know Peter. But the Glock 20 is a beefy gun, and depending on who you talk to, it's a good or a bad thing. I personally don't have a problem with it, but I will say this gun is noticeably trimmer. It's a slimmer gun than, say, the Glock 20, and I like that about it. Which one I like better? I think I'm gonna say I do prefer this one largely because as much as I love the bigger grip, I didn't find myself needing to adjust my grip under recoil as much with this gun versus the Glock 20. I can handle the gun, and there's a little bit more stout recoil on this gun compared to, say, a 45. The 45 is thumpy. This is snappy plus a little thump. So from that perspective, when I'm thinking about using this gun in a self-defense situation from four-legged animals, I want to be able to put rounds on target quickly while still having a round powerful enough to do it. And that's what the 10mm is. The 10mm is a known, proven round for having the ballistics damn near to a .357 mag, and while still giving you the capacity. Whereas with the 45, yeah, it's powerful, but you still have limited capacity because it is a bigger diameter bullet. So the question becomes, do you want that little bit of micro size advantage, but you have 10 rounds versus, say, 15 in the same size platform? Like, this is the same platform as the FN 545. 15 rounds with the flush magazine Whereas with the 5.45 and 45, you have an extended mag. It's not extended, but it's not flush. It actually sits a little bit lower because you have to account for the extra space you need for that 45 round. Now, from an ergonomic standpoint, this gun feels great in hand. Like I said, it feels thin. It's the same size as the 5.45, so there's not gonna be any difference there. That said, from a recoil standpoint, like I said, it pops, but then there's also a little bit of a shove there. If you wanna see, it's like, so you really kind of have to get behind the gun, which is kind of a downside for the 10mm because let's say, for instance, I was out in the woods in bear country and I had to protect myself from a bear, right? So let's get the real stopping power. There we go. 22 rounds. This is how I would carry it. If I end up switching to this gun for my 10mm gun, this is how I would carry it. 22 rounds of 10mm in a chest rig, right? So I want you to imagine you're in the woods on a hunt or doing a little hike. I don't know why people think walking in the woods is so fun, but people seem to think it's so glorious. But anyway, and all of a sudden you look up and you realize, oh shit, it's a bear. And so I've seen all the YouTube videos and I remember them telling me, don't move, just stand there, don't move. It's not working, it's not working, it's not working. Oh, it's charging! I'm pretty sure there's some people having a field day with that one. It's like, how do you know it wasn't bluff charging? Huh? Are you sure it was really charging you? How do you know if it was in a mama? I don't care. If I'm in the woods and I'm walking and I stop and I see a bear and it's at this distance and it charges me, I'm not waiting to see if it's bluffing me. I'm shooting the bear. Bears terrify me. Not taking those chances. Anyway, something I noticed when I put down that beautiful volley of fire whenever I hit that charging bear who was trying to eat me alive or claw me to death, whatever. I realized I didn't talk about this trigger yet. Now, the beautiful thing about this trigger is it's an updated trigger from FN because FN used to get a lot of shit about their triggers. And on this trigger, one thing I will say is you have a slight take up right here on the wall and you hit that wall, that solid wall, like I love, and then you get a break. And then you get this really ridiculously light reset that you otherwise wouldn't get on most guns in 10mm. Boom, look at that. That is beautiful. That is, look, stunning. That's a trigger. I think this is probably the best trigger on a polymer striker fired 10mm I've actually ever shot, actually. Yes, there are some other ones that I've shot. I just haven't done a video on them, so shut up. But that said, I think the trigger on this updated trigger on this FN for the 5 series, whatever you want to call them, I think it's really good. It's a really good trigger. And all jokes aside, for me, one of the biggest reasons why I'm entertaining making this my bear gun is just the feature set. You got 22 rounds of 10mm. You have 15 if you want to go flush. You have the ability to put a red dot on there. So if I am in a situation and I'm charging and I do have to keep my eyes on my sights, yeah, I can shoot irons really well. But there's something about a red dot. If you can get that dot on there, superimpose on a target, and then keep your situational awareness so you don't get sucked into your target, I think there's something to be said about that. The iron sights on the Glock 20 there, but it's a Glock. You can change them out and put anything you want on there. So I'm not gonna knock it too hard for that. However, but then on top of that, if you just really wanted to, you could suppress it. Now, 10mm are naturally supersonic. So suppressing it is kind of like, why would you? But it still mitigates a lot of that noise so you're not blowing your ears out, if that's a concern of yours. But here's another thing that people don't realize. You can actually shoot 40 Smith & Wesson in this same platform. Now, FN's gonna tell you not to do it. I'm gonna tell you it can be done. However, the beautiful thing about 40 is you can get subsonic with 40. So now you can suppress it and have a really quiet gun, but it'd be in 40. But if you really just want to shoot 10mm suppress, you can do that too. Motherfuckers are out there shooting 5.56 on a 10-inch barrel suppress. So I don't know why it's such a big deal if I'm gonna suppress a 10mm, even though it's supersonic, and you got a damn 5.56 223 flying at 8,000 feet per second, and you're trying to tell me I'm gonna suppress it on a 10-inch barrel. I digress. So, the feature set on this gun is one of the things that really draws me to it as far as keeping it as my bear gun, or if I'm really gonna be honest, as my outdoor gun. Now, the Ruger Red Hawk Alaskan is still my favorite outdoor gun, even with its magazine or capacity limitations. So when I want capacity, I want versatility in terms of my accessory set. This is something I'm gonna look to. I'm a capacity whore. I love capacity, and I'm always gonna have capacity. So, look at that, 22 rounds. And it's not even crazy. It's not even crazy, look. So now I want you to imagine this gun completely decked out. I didn't want to deck it out because I didn't want to distract from the actual gun. But imagine, you have your red dot, you have your light, you have suppressor, 22 rounds of 10mm. As a matter of fact, if I'm gonna be honest, you can carry this thing. Look. That's what, the size of a 17? I know people that carry guns that are about the size of a 17. It might even be a little bit smaller. So if you want to go out there and start punching holes into people to send their souls into the depths of Hades when they try to attack you or do something they're not supposed to do to you from a life-threatening standpoint, I mean, 10mm. If you haven't noticed, I'm just drawing this out so I can keep shooting this gun. This video ended a long time ago, but there's two things you probably should have learned about me. I love to shoot, and I love to hear myself talk. If you combine the two, you're just gonna be sitting here all day long. Because shooting, talking, oh, look at the butterfly. It's just so fun. This is my happy place. In all seriousness aside, I'm glad I can bring you guys with me to my happy place, because I do truly enjoy shooting. I do. I'm pretty sure Peter does not enjoy holding this rig for 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long this video is gonna be. Yeah, anybody want a Glock 20? I'll sell it to you.
Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.